transitional moments in life that's very important is when you guys transition through band directors. And I hope you know you have a really good one. He's really good. I can tell by your enthusiasm that you guys are beginning the bonding process, which is good. So anyway, I say that because students who come from small schools are not always blessed with having great teachers with them. So I hope you really take good care of him, because he's doing a great job, as I can tell through what he's asking you to do. And what I can tell about you guys as students is the caliber of you based upon how well you're responding. Because you know, the truth is, he can know a lot about music and be able to teach you a lot, but you can resist and not let him teach you. And I'm already sensing that's not happening. If we're jesting and we're having fun with each other, that's really healthy, really good. But I have a mantra with my own bands, and it feels like this: it's good to have fun, but it's more fun to be good. And if I motivate myself that way, I love spending time working toward excellence. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. So the goal of excellence is a really important thing. I can tell you're on that path, so I want to talk with you on higher level skills based upon the fact that I think you're into it, right?
Yes.
All right. So there's no reason students from Elum can't achieve at the highest level like students from anywhere. There's no reason for it. It's just a matter of deciding to do it. And I think he's the kind of musician who can ask you to go to that level. So really, I'm really excited about this. I want to cry every time I do a clinic today, because it seems like we start and it's over. So I'm trying to boil my comments down to really important stuff. Really important stuff that I think of. We cannot get better unless we can self-critique. You'll instruct us and tell us to do certain things, but it's better if the fixing comes from inside of us. So my test for you is using musical vocabulary of some kind, or conceptual language about music. What do you guys think may have been your flaws or really great things you did today? What do you think?
The dynamic contrast was really good.
Dynamic contrast was really good. Where was it really good? Which piece?
Move it to August.
Okay, yep, and one other place.
Celebration and song.
Yeah, the other ballad piece. You have some really cool stuff. What was that called? Second piece, yeah.
Our releases work together.
Releases pretty well together. There were some nice ones. Anything else you guys on your self-critique?
I mean, I have one. I know me and Eric we both didn't remember music. We were just talking about this.
Yeah. Well, see, sometimes that's as simple as it is. But hey, you guys watch this. Everybody just be really honest, because honest self-critique really works. How many of you know you hit a few clinkers, a few wrong notes? Yeah, see how that works? So when we admit that to ourselves, we're worried, oh, I'm going to really be embarrassed. But the fact is, music is so complex. And this is a pretty complex book. Not only is it complex music, but you're playing a lot of it, which tells me you're pretty efficient in class, because it takes a lot of work to get this much material to this level. And I'll say this, it's a truism in life. It takes a ton of work just to get to mediocre. And then to get really good, that's discipline, it's dedication, self-determination. Man, there's so many qualities. One of the reasons you should be in band, because these are qualities that you'll develop as in yourself: self-determination, self-discipline, all those kind of things. So, yeah, man.
Yeah, my tone was kind of weird.
Tone was kind of weird.
Especially in the last piece.
Yeah, and I hope I get a chance to talk about that a little bit, because I think I have you guys written right here on that exact same place. I hate doing critiques like this, but rather than him going home, standing in front of the band room, oh, here's Mr. Newberry's sheet, I'll read you the comments. Rather than it being like that, let me read my comments and put it in context. And you guys are practicing a lot. You're going to continue to play. Are we going to do this music anymore? Or are we done?
Probably not.
Okay, all right. That's different, because if we're putting it away and we're getting new music, what we want to do is apply these concepts we're talking about to the new music. So let's see here. I just want you to hear this from me. Really nice opening. We can be more crisp in all parts with the articulation work to more clearly define your staccatos and accents and whatnot. And along that line, if we're thinking about, and rather than ask you, in my own classroom, I'd ask you, well, how do we play staccato? How do we play a long accent? How do we play a marcato accent? And how do we play tenuto? I would ask you that and I'd have you figure it out. I'm gonna just give it to you. There are two kinds of air we can use as we create sounds and articulations. One is called stopped air tonguing, and it's like this, and it's really important you just listen to the concept. Stopped air tonguing is I start the air, basically stop the air, and I create very isolated, brief notes. It sounds something like this. Hear that, how it's just really pretty crisp and clear? Continuous air tonguing is I blow air constantly, and all I do is dent the airstream. So it goes like this. Hear the difference? Got the difference? Do stopped air tonguing with me like this. Now watch this. If you're doing this, I'm not doing this. I'm not doing this. I am fully engaging the concept of air, projecting it so the back row of the auditorium feels that animation. Everybody project with me. Do it again. 2, ready. Now stop. If you learn nothing but that concept, as you play these pieces of music, that every articulation you play, whether soft or loud, gets that level of focus, you'll have learned a lot, okay? Because the second you go to, we lost everything you played right out here. Now listen, here's loud and soft. Hear the difference? I'm just moving volume of air for loud. I'm still intense soft, right? And the concept is this, remember that air is fast for both soft and loud. Air is not slow for soft. Make sense? I'm super intense. I'm as intense inside right now as I am for loud. The difference is I'm opening up the floodgate here and letting the air come out, okay? Now, this concept I just talked to you about, stopped air and continuous air, is empowering. Ballad style playing, which one do you think you'll use? Continuous. Animated, articulated staccato style, what will you use? Stopped air tonguing, right? Okay. And really in my stopped air tonguing, if you really listen closely, what I'm creating is a bubble on the front side of the note. So I'm really focused on the front. With continuous air legato style tonguing, I'm focusing on continuous air sustaining my air. Okay, just really sustaining. It's really, really cool when you start to apply those things. Accent, anybody know what accent is then? How do I do an accent?
More air.
More air, watch this. Okay, that's the difference. Here's staccato. I'm creating more air on the front side of the note. You know what Finale, the computer program, says for louder? Go up 25%. So it's basically saying, if it could say it in air language, it would say, add 25% more air to the front of the note. That's what Finale would do. Okay, and it plays it back, it's amazing. But it's digital language, so let's say 100 in digital language is a normal articulation. Accent in Finale language is 125. And then gives you the front of the note, gives you more of the front note. Very cool. We can learn from digital language. Cool. That articulation message is huge to you. Put it into practice. How do I practice it? Scales. Or every day when you practice, you're at those articulation styles, accented styles as well. All right, you guys are watching your music. Timpani, you got in a couple bars early in a couple places in that first number. Make sure you're always focused and counting. And then if you're having issues, make sure you rely on your conductor. Okay, rely on him to bring you in there too. 65, more bold and connected. Now I'm going to be boring. 93, nice aggressive snare playing. It was. Who's my snare player? In the first piece? Yeah, right on that. It was really good. And here's the law here. So he's a drummer, so he better play soft. No. If the drum part is the it, all of a sudden we're introducing a new idea to the audience to tickle their ears. And if you think you're fit into that mode, you should absolutely play that out. And you did. Some people would have said you were too loud. For me, I loved it because it was the it. It was a new orchestrational color and you really played out. He played like a soloist. That's a lesson for all of us. You get a little isolated phrase and it says piano. Oh, I better be soft so I'm not going to have any support. Play like a soloist, even if it says piano. If the orchestration says it's only the flute and a couple clarinets, you should play like a soloist. Okay? So that was rock and roll snare drum. That was cool. Phrasing, don't be afraid to be a little creative. And you don't be afraid to be creative. Even in that first piece where it's pretty bombastic, creating phrases within the context of the piece of music. So it's not one volume level played in a similar style for too long. Use your own piano skills and your trombone skills, those high level musical skills. Make sure you ask yourself when you're listening to them play and you're trying to teach them all the notes, and then you get to the point where you ask yourself, well, if I was playing this, I wonder how I would feel about it. And then force them to play how you feel, because it'll be pretty cool. Well, I created certain pieces where I was watching you really emote, and they didn't always follow your emotion, but you were emotional about it. And so everybody make sure you're following his emotion, because it was really cool. Let's see here. Wow, clarinets, I said that your pitch was absolutely awesome at the beginning of the second piece. And then at the end of the second piece, it was absolutely awful. Now watch. E flat, I think, was the opening note, right? And you guys just blew me away. You held that pitch and it was just, did you guys hear that?
Yeah.
It was just like perfect. And then at the end we had an E, I think.
I was like,
E flat, and your E flat sucks.
yeah.
Yeah. That's the, I'm sorry, I was being too friendly about that. But the E flat, you have to figure out the ways to fix that. Now watch a couple things, clarinet. So tuning clarinet, if my fingers are here and anything goes across here, I tune here. Got it?
Oh.
I tune there. Anything up here, I tune here. Got it?
Okay.
Does that seem logical?
Yes.
Now watch, because I'm down across the horn, and remember, to drop the pitch, you have to make the horn longer. So if I break here to tune a note up here, it doesn't make any sense because the open hole is here. So that's where I tune here, okay? So very, very subtle thing. So practice that and do some tuner work where you're playing like a low C or something, or a low G or whatever it happens to be, and practice tuning with the middle joint. Just see what happens. See how much, a little bit actually makes quite a bit of difference. All right. So one of you, now watch, one of you might have to pull out here, and maybe one of you doesn't. So it won't be similar on all first players. Flute, that head joint's perfect. See how, hold that up. Everybody see how far that head joint's pulled out? They should be pulled out that far. Now watch, because then she can add a lot of air to the instrument to get a chord into the sound. Versus a lot of young flute players push in, they're like this. Now watch. This comes from professional flute players. And most of them, if you go up and look, they are quite a ways pulled out. The reason is, if you were manufacturing that flute, would you make it to sound in tune, all pushed in? No. Absolutely. Would physically, you would plan on it being pulled out. Now watch. If you pull out, you have to use more air. Because pulling out is lowering the instrument. Got it? But my fast air will raise the pitch. Make sense? Now, just for fun, let's have you guys play like concert A, upper concert A. Hey, don't be afraid yet, because this is gonna be a perfect lesson. One of the reasons she might be pulled out, have you guys ever tuned the cork in here? The head joint? Watch. So you've got a cleaner, and it's got a little line on it. You drop it in here, and that line should be right in the middle of the tone hole. You ever done that? Now watch, you tune it right here by twisting this. So make sure you tune the head joints first, because that could be the difference right now, but I'm still gonna use this as an example. So you stay pulled down. Play yours first. What's your name?
Marissa.
Marissa, play yours first. what happens if I just get him to speed up there. So your air's going 20 miles an hour right now, it's gotta go 50. Okay?
Whoa.
You hear that? Now, his tone, here's the win. The win is now, because he's using faster air, his tone is more full. I win. Because in a group like this, that's a win. The flute section would have to hold its own. The reason you push in is because it allows you to slow your air down and be less intense. You didn't even realize it. That's what's really happening. So now you're just gonna, everything you play, you're gonna be more physically aggressive about it. Now let's just do it for fun, and let's check a couple things. Play your A. Can you still tell he's below her in pitch? I think you're a little sharp. You have to pull up more. Pull around. Yeah, okay. Now let's play together. Now you have to speed up your air until you match pitch with her. Go ahead. You hear it starting to work, but see, you're afraid to push that much air on this. Yeah. Watch me. Here it is for me. Here it is for me. Aggressive, I kid you not. Let's try. See, we're getting the idea. Now, the truth is somewhere in the middle now. Okay, so, but the point is made, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I'd like to see you be more aggressive. Now, let's try one other pitch. Let's do an F. Modest. Yeah, yeah. Those two middle one down. Speed up your air. Speed it up. You gotta work harder. Yeah. It's so cool. It's so cool to hear that begin to come into place. And it's all about your airspeed. Now watch. You're sneaking into it. And some of us do this. Trumpets, some of you guys do this. You sneak into sound. Rather than yo, that sort of thing. Super aggressive right off the bat. This is a very subtle lesson right here, but it's profound. It's profound. All right, cool. Hey, is this boring, you guys? No. I love this. I love this stuff. It's so awesome to be awesome. Rise and fall of dynamics in the second piece is really excellent, and it's what I call organic versus mechanical. Make sure they don't let them be mechanical. You're very organic, and your conducting was really nice and stylish. Make sure that you feel that they're doing. And hey, you guys, you get to an organic style of crescendo, decrescendo, and rise and fall in the dynamic by completely controlling your air column. Kind of what we just did here, as we're getting him to speed up the air, you guys are actually going to be doing that too. But we speed up the air around the center of pitch. Watch me, everybody. So if I get loud, usually as a low brass player, this is how I do it. I get more open around the center of the pitch. So if I'm shooting at a bullseye with, I'm actually going to, all of us, almost every instrument here, trumpet a little less, but similar. We all open up around the center of pitch as we crescendo, decrescendo, and we do all that adding of air. It's impressive to hear in-tune playing when you do the crescendo, decrescendo. Am I out of time?
Yes.
Totally?
Yes.
All right. Hey, Doc is going to have to read the rest of this kind of stuff, but do know how much I appreciated you today. Listen to me. Your score, I'm putting a score down here. I love this group and I love what you've done here. Please promise me you won't even think about the score on here, okay? Because the score is more mechanical. It's not organic. And your performance to me today, the pricelessness of it can't be measured on a sheet. So please do not take my sheet seriously, okay? And I didn't give you a bad rating, but I want you to know you're so on the right track. And you guys could easily be a superior performing group. And I'm just excited. Yeah. Good job.
Does Mark still have his? Or do you have mine? You have mine. Yes.
Great.
Have a nice day. So we're heading out?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.